Housing is the single largest expense of your life. Not food. Not taxes. Not transportation. Housing. The average American will spend over $600,000 on housing in their lifetime. That is more than they will spend on everything else combined. And here is what nobody tells you. The level of housing you choose does not just determine where you sleep. It determines how fast you build wealth, how much stress you carry, and what your life actually looks like in 10 years. Today we are walking through every level. From a shared room at $400 a month to $1 million home. And at each level, I will show you exactly what happens to your finances. This is not about judgment. This is about math. Let us begin at the bottom. Level 1. The shared room. $400 to $700 a month. You are 22. You just moved to a new city. Your salary is $38,000 a year. After taxes, that is about $2,600 a month. You find a room in a 3-bedroom apartment. $550 a month, utilities split 4 ways. Your total housing cost is $620. That is 24% of your take-home pay. Financial advisors say keep it under 30%. You are well below that line. This is the sweet spot nobody talks about. You have $1,900 left every month. After food, transport, and basics, you can save $800 a month. At 22. Most people your age save $0. The trade-off is real. You hear your roommate's alarm at 6 a.m. Someone leaves dishes in the sink for 3 days. The bathroom schedule requires negotiation. Privacy is a luxury you cannot afford yet. But here is what most people miss. Every month you spend at this level, you are buying something more valuable than comfort. You are buying time. Time to build an emergency fund. Time to invest early. Time to figure out what you actually want. If you invest at $800 monthly at 7% average return starting at 22, by 32 you will have $138,000. Just from living cheap for 10 years. The shared room is not failure. It is a financial strategy disguised as sacrifice. Level 2. The studio apartment. $900 to $1,400 a month. You are 25 now. Your salary grew to $52,000. Take home is about $3,400 a month. You sign a lease for $1,100. Your own place. Finally. The studio is 480 square feet. Kitchen, bed, and desk all share one room. But the door locks and nobody else has a key. That feeling is worth more than square footage. Housing now takes 32% of your income. You crossed the 30% line. Your savings rate drops from $800 to $450 a month. That is a 44% reduction in wealth building. But something else changes. Your sleep improves. Your stress drops. You cook real meals instead of eating around roommate schedules. Your productivity at work increases because you actually rest at home. Studies show that people who live alone report 23% higher job satisfaction. Not because the job changed. Because they recover better between shifts. Housing quality affects earning potential. The studio is the first level where you trade money for mental health. And for most people, it is the right trade at the right time. The key is not staying here longer than you need to. Level 3. The 1-bedroom apartment. $1,400 to $2,200 a month. You are 28. Salary is $68,000. Take home is $4,200. You move into a proper 1-bedroom for $1,700 a month in a decent neighborhood. For the first time, you have a living room separate from your bedroom. A real kitchen with counter space. A closet that fits more than 10 hangers. You can have someone over without them sitting on your bed. Housing is now 40% of your take-home pay. You are above the recommended threshold. Savings drop to $300 a month. The wealth building machine is slowing down significantly. This is where most Americans get stuck. The 1-bedroom feels like the minimum acceptable standard. Going back to a studio feels like regression. Going forward to a 2-bedroom requires a salary jump that may not come. The hidden cost at this level is lifestyle inflation. Your neighborhood has better restaurants. Your building has a gym you pay for in rent. Your neighbors drive nicer cars. Comparison spending begins. At level 3, you are comfortable. But comfortable is the most dangerous financial state. Because comfortable people stop optimizing. They stop questioning. They accept the treadmill. Level 4. The 2-bedroom or upgraded 1-bedroom. $2,200 to $3,200 a month. You are 31. Salary hit $85,000. Maybe you have a partner now splitting costs. Combined take-home is $7,000 a month. You rent a 2-bedroom for $2,800. The 2nd bedroom becomes an office. Or a guest room. Or the room where you put the exercise bike you use twice. Either way, you have space. Real space. Space to breathe and think and plan. If splitting with a partner, housing drops to 20% each. Suddenly you are back in the wealth building zone. If alone at 85,000, you are spending 47% on housing. Dangerous territory. This is the level where the rent versus buy conversation starts haunting you. $2,800 a month in rent is $33,600 a year. Gone. No equity. No asset. Just a receipt. Your coworker bought a condo. Your parents ask why you are still renting. The pressure builds. But the math is more complicated than anyone admits. Level 4 is the crossroads. Stay renting and invest the difference. Or take the leap into ownership. Both paths have hidden costs. Let us keep going. Level 5. The first home purchase. $300,000 to $500,000. You are 33. You saved $60,000 for a down payment. You buy a home for $380,000. 20% down. Your mortgage payment is $2,100 a month. But $2,100 is not your real housing cost. Property taxes add $400. Insurance adds $150. Maintenance averages $300. Your true monthly cost is $2,950. In year 1 of a 30-year mortgage at 7%, 68% of your payment goes to interest. Not equity. You pay the bank $22,000 in interest in the first year alone. Everyone told you renting is throwing money away. But in year 1 of ownership, you threw $22,000 at interest, $5,000 at property taxes, and $4,000 at maintenance. $31,000 that built zero equity. The furnace breaks in February. $4,800. The roof needs patching. $2,200. The basement floods after a storm. Deductible is $1,000. Homeownership is a subscription to surprise expenses. I am not saying do not buy. I am saying understand the real math before you sign. A home is not an investment for most people. It is a forced savings account with very high fees. Historical data shows homes appreciate 3 to 4% annually on average. The S&P 500 averages 10%. If you invested your down payment and maintenance costs instead, you would often come out ahead financially. But you would not have a home. The real value of homeownership is not financial. It is psychological. Stability. Control. Roots. A place that is yours in a way renting never feels. That has value. Just not the value most people calculate. Level 6. The upgraded home. $500,000 to $800,000. You are 38. Household income is $140,000. You sell the starter home and buy up. $650,000. Bigger yard. Better school district. 2-car garage. Your mortgage payment jumps to $3,400. Property taxes double because better school district means higher assessments. Insurance climbs. Your total housing cost is now $4,600 a month. At $140,000 household income, your take-home is about $8,800. Housing at $4,600 is 52%. You are now house poor by every financial definition. The neighborhood expects a certain lifestyle. The neighbors have landscaping services. Their kids do travel sports. Birthday parties cost $300. You spend money to match a standard you did not set. Your retirement contributions drop. Your emergency fund stops growing. You tell yourself the home equity makes up for it. But equity is not liquid. You cannot pay for groceries with your walls. Level 6 is where most families silently struggle. The house looks like success from the outside. Inside, the spreadsheet tells a different story. Level 7. The $1 million home. You are 43. Household income crossed $220,000. You buy the dream home. $950,000. 5 bedrooms. 3 bathrooms. A kitchen island bigger than your first apartment. Monthly payment with taxes and insurance is $6,800. Maintenance on a home this size averages $800 a month. Total housing cost is $7,600 every single month. At $220,000 income, take-home is about $13,000. Housing at $7,600 is 58%. You earn more than 95% of Americans and you are still stretched thin. The house has rooms you do not enter for weeks. The formal dining room collects dust. The guest bedroom hosts visitors twice a year. You are paying $700 a month for square footage you do not use. Your property taxes alone are $12,000 a year. That is $1,000 a month to the county. If you invested that instead over 20 years at 7%, it would grow to $520,000. The $1 million home is not a sign of wealth. It is often a sign of maximum leverage. The truly wealthy people I have studied buy homes worth less than they can afford. They put the difference into assets that generate income. A study of millionaires found that the median home value among people with a net worth over $2 million was only $420,000. They got rich by not buying the biggest house they could qualify for. The math nobody shows you. Let us compare two people. Same salary. $100,000 a year. Person A spends 30% on housing. Person B spends 50%. The difference is $1,600 a month. If person A invests that $1,600 difference monthly at 7% for 20 years, they accumulate $834,000 more than person B. From housing choice alone. Person B has a nicer apartment. Person A retires 10 years earlier. Same job. Same salary. Different housing decision. That is the invisible fork in the road that nobody frames this clearly. I am not telling you to live in a box. I am telling you that every dollar above the minimum comfortable housing cost is a dollar you are choosing to spend on walls instead of freedom. The question is not what can I afford. The bank will always tell you that you can afford more. The question is what do I need to be comfortable enough to sleep well and save aggressively. The sweet spot according to data is 25 to 28% of take-home pay. Below 20%, you sacrifice too much comfort. Above 35%, wealth building stalls. Find your number in that range and defend it. Housing is not just where you live. It is the single decision that determines the trajectory of your entire financial life. Every other money decision happens inside the constraints that housing sets. Choose one level below what you can afford. Invest the difference. Do this for 10 years. You will be shocked at where you end up. The walls do not make you wealthy. What you do with the money you did not spend on walls does.